What's up, Ant?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Let me ask you a question, Ant. We're on regular.
Yeah.
We're on regular radio, so you know how that goes.
Okay.
It sucks.
The rules. Yes, the rules.
The rules that we've both been just so screwed by over the years. What if your guy, like your number one of your top echelon guys, were obsessed with me and hated you? Well, what would the ruling be on that one?
Not
man. Good.
They might have to go.
Yeah. What if every day, like, hey, Ant, Bubba did this and Bubba did that?
Wait, hold on. Ant's trying to get me fired now?
Well, no, but I mean, you're the biggest Anthony Cumia fan ever was. Was it not? Are you not?
One of them.
Right. Anthony
I appreciate it. Jesus.
Anthony Cumia is on the phone. I always mess up your last name, Ant. I just know you as Anthony or Ant. You know.
Yeah.
You got kind of the worst radio last names ever.
Still better than Opie.
Still better. Hey, you know what? It's still better than Opie, and it's still better than the Love Sponge. You got to give him that. Anthony Cumia is on the phone. His book comes out tomorrow, available at Amazon. There's a couple Amazons. Amazon and Amazons. It's available wherever you get your stores, wherever you get your books. Are you going to do a book tour, Anthony?
Yeah, that whole thing's happening. Actually, I got a signing tonight in Tribeca in New York City. Over at Barnes & Noble in Tribeca, and then I'm going out to California the week after Thanksgiving and doing Rogan and Corolla and Bert Kreischer and a few of the other big shows out there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a lot more work. You know, you got to do things when you got a book. You got to promote it. Especially
when us radio guys are used to being on the other end of the spectrum where we help promote people and all the books and all the things, and we're like, this. But you've never probably been on the other side of that, what you're doing now, like the junket kind of deal.
Yeah, you know, like you said, I sat there and people would come in and hawk their wares, and I would sit there and interview them. Yeah, being on the other side is weird. It really is. I'm not used to it.
But as a natural radio guy, do you think that you'll take it over? Like when you're on with Rogan or Adam, do you find yourself wanting to be a host? You think?
No, I think I'm not that self-important to do that. I've seen people though that are really good, like hosts that have been on my show, and it's a no-brainer. It's so easy. You can sit there. You're not pulling teeth. They know exactly what they have to do to keep the show moving and fun. You know, sometimes you have those guests, oh my God, pain in the ass. They just sit there, they don't talk, and all they want to do is plug their stuff, and it's a lot better that way. So yeah, I don't take over, but it's a lot of fun, especially someone like Rogan, just sit there for hours talking about anything.
Just get high with Joe and just let it rip. Joe,
Yeah.
Joe, I got to tell you, you know, you and I, and when you're with Opie, we kind of have made a living at making fun of people, and everybody sucks except us, and everybody's a rip-off deal. But you know what? You gotta be proud of Joe Rogan and how well he has done in our world, so to speak. He has really did well at it.
Yeah, when you look at everybody, you know, everyone has some kind of podcast or show, or it's ridiculous. There are people that don't. They're people that don't. They're not in the business. They don't know what they're doing. They put on an Xbox headset, and they think they have a show. But Rogan, yeah, he's a totally different animal, man. He's big in a few different worlds too. You know, you see him as stand-up comedy, he's hilarious, and then with the UFC, he's really good. And then. Yeah, he's a good broadcaster. He sits there and smokes pot with Elon Musk from Tesla.
I mean, you and I could never do that. I mean, we've been in radio a zillion years, and you and I could never have, be that much of a baller, ever.
I know, exactly.
But, as a radio guy, because we're old school conventional radio, we've come up through our small markets and made asses out of ourselves and then made it to satellite and then lost it from satellite. And now we're doing our own thing. But we kind of conventionally went through the regular radio progression. But it seems it's kind of amazing as to how everybody thinks that they have a pod. Now, listen, there are the Adam Carollas and there are the Chris Jerichos and there are the Joe Rogans and there's the people that are just absolutely killing it. But it seems like everybody now thinks thinks that podcasting is kind of still in the world that we do, and it isn't. It's not even close because of they're just not near the host and spontaneous as we have to be. It just basically you could have a card table and a couple of microphones, and now you got a podcast. And to me, it kind of pisses me off because everybody doesn't really realize how conventional radio really is.
Yeah. There's a couple of things like that. There's the podcasting where people that aren't really good at it can still do it. It's like that when you're exiled from entertainment, you do that or stand-up comedy. Like I know a lot of comics, and they can't stand that. Somebody decides like, oh, I've been thrown out of show business or I'm a has-been or something. Let me be a stand-up comic. Like it's something anyone can do. And it's not. It takes a talent, and it's the same thing with broadcasting. You can't just grab a microphone and all of a sudden you have a show. There are so many people that are bad at it. Podcasting right now is sort of like stand-up comedy was in the 80s. There's 10 million of them, and they're terrible at it. There's a few, and I think eventually it'll be weeded out, and the cream will rise to the top,
Hopefully guys like you and I, we'll keep doing what we're doing. But you've done really well with your offshoot deal and your compound media. Like, you've done one of the very best of everybody that's been thrown out or chose to leave. Compound media is doing really well for you, isn't it?
Yeah, thank God, man. It was a lifeboat at fird, It was one of those deals. I got the boots from satellite radio. I had the studio in my basement, and I'd had it for years just because I enjoyed doing a video broadcast. So I built a studio in my basement. And when I got the boot, Keith the Cop was just like, hey, you got that studio down there? Let's do something. And we were up and running in a month. And it was pretty much just to stay relevant and stay on the air because, boy, you know how it is.
Yeah, trust me.
You've gone for long enough. Doesn't matter how big a fan people are. They go away. They figure something else out. So it was pretty cool to have that be up and running in a month, and then after a while, realized there were a lot of other talent, a lot of other shows, and people that want to do a show that we would bring on board, and it kind of naturally built into this thing that I never imagined heading up some kind of a network or a company where a lot of other people can do shows, but. There's a demand for it, so it worked out well. The timing was really good.
Anthony Cumia, formerly from Opie and Anthony, now does his own thing on Compound Media. Him and I were conditioned to hate each other for years. I wish somebody would have taken us. Well, I wish somebody would have taken us, like maybe it be, Sabian or somebody, and taken us aside and said, you know what, you guys kind of have a lot in common, and you guys, would probably get along if we just put you guys in a room and kind of hung out a little bit. Because how much further ahead or how much better would have it been if, our two franchises would have liked each other? Would it have made a difference, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I laugh now at that whole radio war thing. It's so ridiculous. And without, I was in there mixing it up and everything, but without really putting any blame on anything, I do think Opie and his traditional radio mentality played into a lot of that because I never had a problem with really anybody. It was just this thing, like you said, conditioned. That's
right.
It's so true. You're conditioned like, oh, it's radio. We have to be mad at people that are in radio. Why? It's so ridiculous. I couldn't tell you why I was in some kind of a war with any other radio personality. I didn't know you. I didn't know Howard, really, aside from what I heard on the air. And I got along with Don and Mike when they were on our show and or on our station at NEW in New York City. Like, all these people were cool people. They were doing what they did, but for some reason there's this thing in radio where you have to be like, oh, that guy's a jackass, so we're going to go after him. And it's so ridiculous, and it's so.
And I feel the
so
same way because we used to make fun of hacks. You guys made fun of hack, but we were being hacks by being radio hacks by saying I actually made a story up one time saying, yeah, I saw that Opie son of a bitch in the bathroom. I'm gonna kick his ass. I didn't see Opie. I didn't see him at all. And I don't even know if I could kick that little wiry ginger's ass or not. I don't even know.
It's so ridiculous. There are these just staples in the radio business that for years and years just keep going on and on. I don't know. I don't have a problem with anybody at this point.
Well, I mean, you do.
On my show.
I mean, Opie, you wouldn't have Opie on.
Oh well, that's but I would. I have.
So honest to God, would you? Honest to God, if Opie said, I mean, I know legitimately there's been post you guys breaking up. I know there's been legitimate heat, but if he called you and said, Ant, I want to bury the hatchet for whatever reason, what would you say?
I'd say, yeah, let's do it on the air. Let's do it either his show, my show. I would go on his show. I would have him on my show, but I know damn well he would never.
But why? Well, I mean, Ant, why couldn't somebody pull him aside like the same we used to be hacks conversation that you and I are having and say, Opie, you're making yourself look like a hack by not being cool to Ant. Ant says, let's come on and hash this out of the air. It's going to be great radio no matter what. And it's hacky for you to say no, not you. For him, it's hacky for him to say no.
Yeah, I think that's part of like all the stuff that adds up to him and myself not getting along now and having problems over the years that we were together on the air. I think part of that is about it's why he wouldn't do it. It's just built into his personality that way. It's you know what it's like? I mean, 20 years. You ever work with anybody for 20 years?
My guy Manson here, we've worked together for 23 years. My second guy here, and I've never done a day of radio from Morning Drive from 1996 on. I've never been on the air with anybody else but him. And Manson, I can honestly say, like, there would be nothing that I couldn't forgive you over that we couldn't get through. I don't think, at least on my end.
Hey, man, I mean, Ron and Ron hated each other.
Yeah.
We don't hate each other after all these years.
Yeah.
But they still work together.
Yeah, well, like I worked with Jim Norton for pretty much the same amount of time. There was only 3 years in there at the beginning,
right?
That me and Opie were working together without Jim Norton, and me and Jimmy, I feel the same way. Could never get mad at him. Never would. Never have. We still hang out. We still work together. He's one of my best friends. So it's just this weird thing where
Opie won't even go on my show. Opie won't even go on my show because I've had you on and I have no problems with you and I like you and I want to promote your book and all that kind of stuff. And I've reached out. Tim Sabian has even got a hold of me. I'm like, I'll put Opie on. Like, I'll put him on. I'm going to shotgun him with Ant questions, but he won't go on.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Over the course of the years, I've seen him do this, and it's self-destructive. Like,
and that comes from self-destructive, and that comes from Bubba and Ant that are self-destructive.
Right. Look at us.
Right.
Very self-destructive.
Yeah, and so we're like saying, Opie, stop continuing the self-destruction like we have, and let's burn a time out here and try to clean the slate because, I mean, we're all three very talented, I think. Hey, maybe we should just all three do a show together. I don't know. What?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Hey, Ant, do you think it would help if Bubba made a video saying, hey, I've reached out to you. How come you won't come on my show like he did with Joe Rogan?
What do you mean?
Oh, he made a video and posted it the other day about how he's been emailing Joe Rogan on we used to be friends and why won't you come do my show? It was really sad.
But that's exactly what Opie used to make fun of.
Yeah, that's what he's doing now.
It's sad. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, that video was a little embarrassing.
Hey,
he's kind of walking around spinning, and
I want to take this moment here by saying hi. This is Bubba, and I got Ant on the phone, and Opie. We're trying to do like a little intervention here, buddy, and you need to burn a timeout on the hackiness, and we want to bring you all back to center here, and let's stop the hacky videos, and let's stop the reaching out to people that are avoiding you, and let's all just, kind of de-hack out a little bit. Come on, Opie.
Wouldn't that be a cool thing?
And the first step, and what's the first step of fixing a problem? Admitting that you got a problem. Opie, you got a hacky problem, buddy.
He does. He's got to go to Hackaholics Anonymous.
And you know how mad he's going to be, Ant. You know how mad he's going to be at me now because I'm not even trying to make a goof. Like I'm not even trying to just because I got Ant on the phone, I'm trying to kiss up to Ant. Like I'm for real, Ope. Like you used to be a big time radio guy, and this was your partner, and you need to burn a timeout. We care about you, so call Anthony's show today immediately, and put a stop.
He would never. He would never.
What would you do if Ant called you today at 4 or 5, whenever your rock and roll ass gets out of bed and decides to go down and fire up the basement? If you said, I want to go on the air and I want to just, bury the hatchet and start clean.
Boy, that would be, it would be very interesting.
You'd say yes.
I'd have him on in a second. I'd have anybody on. But yeah, I just know he wouldn't. I know he would never come on.
I just don't understand.
That's what he is now. Yeah, it's odd. It's look at me. It's all in the book. It's all.
Now, do you get into the Opie stuff in the book in detail?
Oh yeah. A pretty graphic detail about the time we worked together at the beginning when it was all nice, and I was just happy to be there, guy. Fresh out of construction, it was a thrill, and we spent a lot of time together before the show, talking about the show. Everything was about the show, and it was great. And then after a while, a lot of things sort of got in there, and we started getting separate lifestyles and stuff. So that was that. And then the Jimmy factor. I think he brought in Jimmy because he was starting to get
mad at you,
like annoyed with me. Yeah, because I was single. My marriage was over. I was, kind of partying a lot,
picking up a lot of hot sluts. Is that what you meant? Yeah. That's what you meant to say.
Things like that, and it, we started not talking as much, and then me and Norton were really getting along on the air, where a lot of the fans were going like, "Oh my God, you hear what Anthony and Jimmy were doing?" So it wasn't Opie and Anthony, and he was resenting that, and he was taking it out on the staff, and oh my God. You ever see somebody snap at an intern? I mean, not snap, get mad. Literally snap their fingers to come over to get them something.
No, I've never done that. I've never seen people on catch-up runs or nothing like that when I'm low on catch-up or anything like that.
You never sent an intern out for catch-up?
Yeah, I have. I'm low on catch-up. Permanently suspended, the rise and fall, and the rise again of one of radio's most notorious shock jocks. It's Anthony Cumia on the phone. It goes on sale in stores tomorrow. You can also get it on Amazon.com. His show is on CompoundMedia.com. What was, Ant, what was the defining moment, so to speak, where you and Opie kind of didn't have that, so friendly feeling? Like was it during the CBS days in New York? Was it in Boston? Like where if you had to pin, was it when you guys first started XM? Where did it start going south timeline wise?
Yeah, if you ask Opie, it would be at NEW, CBS Radio over there in New York City. Like he had talked about it on his show after I got fired, and I wasn't. I didn't feel that way. I was pretty surprised to hear that. I thought kind of when we were doing satellite, it really started going south. Any partnership has that kind of, you get annoyed with each other, I guess. But
it didn't help when you accidentally sent a text to him either.
Oh, tell me about that, Ant.
Yeah, that didn't help either. Well, I was, he was in one of his moods, and that was the thing that got me. Like, you're coming in for one of the greatest jobs ever. It's 4 hours of sitting with funny people and talking and having a great time. I'd get in there, and I'd see he was in a mood. and it just brought the whole room down. And I talked about this with Jimmy and the entire staff, and they were like, "Oh my God, yeah, I couldn't stand that." So I go in there. He's in a mood, and he wouldn't make eye contact with me. Is something he was mad at. So I went to text Jimmy Norton. This C word won't even look at me.
And you sent it to him.
And I sent it to him accidentally. And I thought for that split second, I'm like, uh-oh, well, maybe it didn't go through. And then I hear, on his phone.
And your body temperature went up about 9 degrees, did it not?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm sitting there, and I see him pick it up, I see him look at it, and then he looks right at me, the first eye contact of the day.
Did you smile and wave? I would have gone, "Hi, Opie."
Yeah. In my head, I'm trying to concoct some reason why I would send that to him and not have it about him.
And you blanked out, did you not?
I had nothing.
What did he say?
He said, he goes, first he said, what is this? He goes, you were sending this to someone else. And I just had to own it. I was like, yeah, I did, because you won't look at me. I can't stand coming in here. And then it was, a big argument. I told him I was sending it to my girlfriend to try to keep Jimmy out of it.
Right.
I don't know if he believed it, but it was never really an issue.
Did you guys go on the air with it? Were you guys on the air with it?
Yeah, we were going on the air in minutes. And
but did the heat transfer over to the air? Because that would have been great radio.
We were really good at hiding that, and it would have been good radio. And it was a couple of times. We had a couple of on-air arguments that are legendary. They're out there on YouTube if people want to find them.
Now, when I've seen you guys do radio, did you guys do, I think you guys are one of the very few, but you guys did shoulder to shoulder. Like you guys stood behind the same board, didn't you?
No. It was kind of a 90-degree thing.
Oh, I thought I used to see you guys back at NEW where you guys were both behind the board. Like, and some people do that sometimes, but I didn't know if you guys did that or not.
Oh, that's so weird. No, he was behind the board. I was on the other.
Opie ran the board, and they each had their own instant replays.
Oh, okay, all right. But Opie ran the board.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So what's it like? I've been talking to this Brad Trackman guy about maybe doing a book. And, I haven't had a chance to talk to you when we're on the air now, obviously. Is he a good dude? And, should I do a book with him?
Oh, yeah. He's great. Very, very easy to sit down and talk with. And you come up with the stories, and he has a good way of formatting them.
And how long did it take? How long did it take you, like, story-wise, like 6 months?
Yeah, it's about 6 months. That process, and then after that, it goes to the stuff that you're not involved in. The publisher and all that crap.
Now, did they send a final deal to you, and then you have the right to say, yeah, no, is that?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, over the course of the 6 months, you get what's pieces and chapters that are done, and you go over them. And because one thing I've enjoyed that people have told me when they read the book is they said it sounds like me. Like they could hear my voice talking and telling these stories in the book, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted. I think it would be weird if somebody else writes it in their own voice. It wouldn't work as well. And Brad's really good at that.
Did you have to do the book on tape? Did you have to do the book on tape deal?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I can't even read hardly.
It's tough. Like part of what I do, the live reads and reading news stories and stuff. So I consider myself a pretty good reader.
Not me. I suck. I'm like third grade at best.
But it's different. You can't make even the slightest mistake. And when you do, you got to do it over again.
Well, what if that's part of the gimmick, though? Like, because part of the gimmick is that you're dumb, like me, and I'll be like, I'll mess it up. Be like, it's my book. I'll mess it up all I want, bitch, and then just keep rolling.
See, wouldn't that be? I would like that. I think that works.
I'm gonna have to tell the publisher, listen, on my read-through deal, I'm gonna be able to hack it and mess up, and we're just gonna keep it rolling.
Bubba be the only person in history whose audiobook and written book are totally different.
I'll just start ad-libbing on that. Say, I don't know if that's the way I wanted it to go or not. This is how it went.
Wouldn't that be great? Just getting words wrong and a lot of uhs and ums.
Well, guess what? Guess what I'm going to do? Well, I'm not even going to tell you about my forward because it's going to be a big whodunit in itself, and I think by me talking about it will hurt my chances. So I can't even. I was going to ask you to write I was going to ask you to write my forward, Ant.
Well, that would be awesome.
Even though we don't know each other.
And we don't know each other. I just know you from the news about you.
Right.
And the myth and the legend that follows you, but that's about it.
I was going to since you've done this, and obviously it comes out tomorrow. It's in stores tomorrow, Amazon.com as well. You can always get anything one-stop shopping with Ant at compoundmedia.com. Now that you've written your book, and the guy that wrote it might write mine, I was going to ask you an idea that I had, that if you maybe didn't, if you did it on your book, then I'm stealing it. And if you didn't do it on your book, if you thought it was a good idea or not, but have every program director or former employee a chapter where they write something in there.
Oh my God! See, I didn't do that, but that is a great idea.
Like everybody who's fired me, like Mark Driscoll and all these guys, that they not necessarily are interviewed by Brad, but they have their own section in itself.
Right, their take. Well, that could be brutal, though.
Well, that's what you want, though. You want brutalness, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, personally, it would be brutal. Like for the book, it'd be great. But personally, would you like sitting there and reading other people?
Well, Ant,
pretty much.
Newsflash. Nothing can. I mean, what's out on me can't get any more brutal than I'm already going through.
That is true.
I mean, my best friend having sex with my wife and ruining my career pretty much can't get more brutal than that, brother.
Jesus.
Think I should have Hulk Hogan do the forward?
That'd sell some books, my friend.
I think Jimmy Norton did your forward, didn't he?
Yeah, Jim did mine. It's great, and it's blatantly honest. He knows me. It's probably my brother and then Jim Norton as far as people who know me the best. And he did a great job. He's a great little freak.
The next book, the Anthony Cumia 2, forward by Opie Hughes. I'm just saying.
By Greg Opie Hughes.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Wouldn't that be something?
I wonder what it would be like. I mean, I would almost say, like, Opie, write me a forward. Let's see what kind of balls you got about yourself. Write me a forward, bitch. I'll publish it.
Yeah. I don't know. He's, you'd like to think that would be possible, but I don't think he's got the
intellect,
the talent to write. I've crapped on the guy pretty good over the past few years that I've been doing this, but. The bottom line is I feel bad for him more times than I feel mad at him.
Well, let's let him crap on us. Let's do Bubba and Ant in one cup, and let's let him come on the show and say, Opie, let it rip on me and Ant. Just go crazy on us. Tell us how stupid we are, how we've ganged up on you. But it starts with you coming on the show with us. We'll do it together. I'll broker it. I'll be the mediator between you two. But I'll be in there kind of stirring it up, kind of keeping you guys both going. The O and A intervention mediated by Bubba the Love Sponge.
See, I'd love that.
When we could do it, I'll fly to New York. We'll do it on Compound Media, and I'll just be like, who's that kind of Twinkie guy from Bravo? Andy somebody?
Andy Cohen.
I'll be Bubba Cohen, where I'm just kind of like just in the middle, and I'll just and he didn't realize it would be huge for all of us, don't you think?
Yeah, but he does. He's got such a lack of self-confidence. He just will never do anything outside of his realm of comfortability. He proved that by. We were asked all the time to go on Hannity's show and other Fox News things, which I still do. I do Kennedy's show, and I love doing stuff like that. He would avoid it like the plague.
Which don't you think that's kind of... Isn't that kind of weird? Because he was the one in the studio that liked to make things uncomfortable.
Yeah, on his own terms, as the guy that's making it uncomfortable. The second anyone pulled it on him, he would get mad.
You guys are kind of ganging up on him now. So, Blitz, I'm thinking in the O&A Summit that I go enjoy Opie's team, and you go on Ant's team, and we go in there and do a modern-day debate. I think we should do that.
Deal.
Wow, that would.
But Anthony,
that
I'm
would
doing
be
it like I'm your buddy.
short.
I'm your buddy. I'm just working. Like I'm just, I'm just.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You're spitballing, and it's great stuff. And he's one of these guys though that doesn't really have enough confidence to do anything like that.
He needs to get high more often. Somebody needs to introduce him to some weed. You know what I'm saying? He needs to chill out a little bit.
Maybe that's it. He is
I think it
very
is.
high strung.
Then maybe Joe Rogan will call him back.
Maybe give him a couple of edibles or something. Let him go out there. I know he likes to go to the beach and write things in the sand. I mean, he could really become one with a sea. I mean, right? That's what I'm thinking, Ant.
He really comes off as a scorned girlfriend so many times.
Opie.
Writing notes in the sand.
Listen, I've done some pussy stuff over the years, including let my best friend sleep with my wife, which ruined my career, but I've never drawn hearts in the sand or nothing like that.
No, or made love videos in the streets of Manhattan as you profess your adoration for Joe Rogan and wish he would come on your show.
Joe
Rogan's
not going to go on your show for just acting like that.
Exactly. That's pretty much where it's at.
I mean, Joe Rogan would go on your show, Opie, if you'd be like, Rogan, quit being a dick. Get one of those,
right.
I don't know, one of those gravity deprivation chambers that you're on, and come on my show, you son of a bitch.
Put down the kettlebell for a second.
Quit supersetting shoulders, my friend, and come on my show, bitch. Hey, Ant, thank you so much for going on the show. And as you get updates and Compound Media and your book and everything, buddy, don't be a stranger, and just don't call when you want something, you son of a bitch. Come on.
No, I hear you, and I want to get down there and.
We're trying to put this O&A summit together, mediated by me. It'd be big for all of us.
Well, good luck.
Me and Opie need it. We're struggling.
Yeah,
right
the only
now.
thing I was bummed about having Ant on the phone is he was supposed to be in studio.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. You're supposed to be in
I gotta
studio.
Get down there. I know. We've been trying to figure all this out at Compound Media. It's kind of hard to get away from it because
when you're releasing a new app every week.
Hi, this is Bubba the Love Sponge, and Opie, my heart goes out for you and your beach videos, and I'm in the same situation as you are, just right there above Westwood One Podcasting, and I'm asking you to have it in your heart to save me and your career by having Anthony come in and save us. He said he could do a run-in for me and yours Hacky career, so just come on, have some love in your heart, and go on and do a summit with me and Ant, and save you and I. I mean, Anthony's got Compound Media, he has like 80,000 subscribers at $9.99 a month. He's do the math. He's well on his way. This book was a hobby at best for him, and so you and I, Opie, need Anthony. So let's think about doing this, buddy.
I think you know how to get to him. There it was, right there, perfect.
Heartfelt too, buddy. Anthony, don't be a stranger, you one-way son of a bitch. I love you.
Thanks a lot, Bubba. I'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you.
Bye, Ant. Good luck on the book. Okay.
Thanks, man.
My mouth.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Anthony Cumia, and the same guy who did his book, I've signed with. And
cool.
Manson, we're signed, and you're not just being interviewed, but you're my partner, and you're going to have your own chapter, what it's like to be with this madman for however many years. And I think he'd like to get a hold of everybody who's fired us and let them have their own deal. Nobody's done that.
No.
I am. Might as well. Can't hurt.